Why is it fast? Can you tell that? That's the only reason? Okay, that's one reason that, okay, if you had a process, let's say you have to submit a document to the clerk, as I said, for the bill of entry number. The second job would be, it would go to an examiner or appraiser, then again you will have to go to a DC. Either you go or the peon removes and puts it in the next tray. Let's say 10 people are involved. I think there would be more than 10, but let's say 10 people are involved in the process. Every table it has to pass through. That is now going electronically. You have not reduced the number of tables, but you have changed certain modes, like the system gives a bill of entry number. So the moment you file a document, there is nobody against that. Nobody is giving you a number anymore. System, the moment it hits the system will generate a number and throw it back to you. Then it automatically moves ahead. There is nobody else to carry it. So while you are not reducing the stages involved, because it is systems driven, it automatically speeds up the process. One more thing is there. You can do risk management. So you are eliminating the assessment of the document altogether. I think you have risk management is covered already in the teaching. So you are aware what is risk management. When you are eliminating the assessment, the stage itself is removed. Definitely the time taken for the stage would be saving. Last 6 months data at Nhava Sheva shows that it takes a total of only 5 hours to clear an RMS bill of entry or an RMS shipping bill. Only 5 hours. Prior to that, prior to the EDI system, the same process could be taking 5 hours for a person who is deep with pockets, who is loaded with funds. Possible that he'll just come and sit there, somebody will do running around for him, possibly even a customs clerk may be doing it or appraiser may be doing it, just depends how much money he has brought in his pocket. But that is today common. If it's an RMS document, an average of 5 hours is common for anybody. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z. That is the advantage of ICE gate or the electronic transmission, that it does not distinguish between people. Not somebody with deep pockets only requires 5 hours. Anybody on an average will take 5 hours. Same way for an other than RMS document, it takes 48 hours today at Nhava Sheva, which in the prior avatar, it could be that a document could take, if there's a huge pendency, it could take 8 days also, and nobody could do anything about it because the appraiser had to sign that document. If he is not seeing what is it, how is he going to sign it? So, because of RMS, 50% document today at Nhava Sheva is not assessed. It is not a load on the system at all. The appraiser does not have to assess it, so his work is reduced to half, first of all. Plus, there are other advantages, like NIDB data is there on the screen. If a product has come, let's say somebody has reported Bisleri, he has a doubt whether it should be worth 10 rupees. He does not have to rack up some files and search and ask somebody. NIDB data is there on the screen. Are you clear when I say NIDB data? Anybody has got a doubt what is NIDB data? Yeah, tell me, you have a doubt what is NIDB data? NIDB data is nothing but a collation of whatever is the previous import in the last 3 months or last 6 months. That information is available to the appraiser on his screen itself. So the time which used to waste previously when it was a manual mode, they had to keep records of every item which they want to investigate, keep a invoice and packing list of all those items, stack it, prepare some report on it, and then refer to that report every time something had to be verified or some note sheet had to be prepared, etc. Everything is now online, it's available to them on the screen. So the time to assess has gone down drastically because of such kind of system support. Third, you are saying it's a transparent system. Why is it said to be a transparent system? What is so transparent about it? I don't know if his bill of entry has been assessed at $10 and mine could be assessed at $20. What is so transparent about it? Why do you say it's a transparent system? No, we are not talking of tracing the bill of entry. We are not talking of tracing the stages of the bill of entry, whether it has been assessed or not. When you say transparent, it works in two ways. Well, like you said, okay, in the past, what you said made sense, okay, if the document was assessed, number of times the custom broker could tell the importer it has not been assessed. So their transparency was not there. That is one type of transparency. What he is mentioning a transparency is that because that data is collected and been available to all agencies to see. When you say all agencies, does not mean customs broker. Customs side, all the agencies which are handling clearances or looking into analysis, it's clear that for X, a price of 1 rupee was accepted. For the same description, same size, price for 2 rupees was accepted for somebody else. Then a query can be raised on that officer. Why did you accept half the price? So automatically it brings in transparency. I will think twice before I do something of that kind. If the prevalent price notice in the department for HDP is $1,500 a ton, somebody brings in HDP at $500 a ton, I will not be able to clear that consignment if it comes to assessment. So that it brings in a transparency. Plus, the risk management system has been so designed that it normally takes a variation of 20% of the prevailing price. So 1500 is a prevailing price. If it gets at 1215, maybe it will go under RMS. Possibility is there. But if it gets the same goods at $1,000, it will go for assessment. The system is designed in a manner that it is picking up things which it can do intelligently. Yes, BTN wise, the number has to be same. I am claiming 3907 for epoxy resin. He claims 9707, system will not be able to do anything because he has claimed a wrong BTN altogether. So if that 9707 is going under RMS, it will go under RMS, irrespective if the goods are epoxy resin. It is still not able to read the description of the goods. He may claim the goods description as epoxy resin. He may use a wrong BTN. Electronically, the system is currently able to recognize and validate only numericals. So 3907, if he puts, he gets stuck. His document at $1,000 will go in for assessment, and the officer will definitely be answerable if he clears that goods at $1,000 because NIDP data is showing an average of 1500. He cannot escape that. He may take a note sheet route. He may take an approval of his seniors. For whatever reason, this $1,000 should be accepted. So that is the transparency automatically built in the system. The system itself stops you from doing something. If somebody wants to do something illegally, he may allow it at $1 also. You can't stop him. He'll be answerable in the future. But today, if he assesses at $1, you put up an invoice at $1, he assesses at $1. Docs also you manage somehow. The goods can go out. Illegality cannot be stopped. But that illegality will be highlighted. There will be, the moment he assesses it, there will be a flicker showing that there is something wrong with this bill of entry. Fourth, we come to lesser interaction with custom officers. Why is it so important? Why is it so important that you want a lesser interaction with the officer? Why he's a good, jolly good fellow like you are, human being. What is the reason why it is considered to be an advantage? Anybody? See, this country has got a very good history of corruption. Nobody knows when it originated, but it's an institution in itself. So, when you have less interaction, automatically the chances of corruption goes down. And when that goes down, automatically your cost to clearance goes down, your dwell time goes down. Effectively, the economy saves a lot of money in the process and could lead to a better GDP. Each of us could be earning more than what we are earning today or getting goods at a lower cost than what we are getting today. It could be either way. So that is the importance that when there is a lesser interaction with the custom officers, automatically the cost of clearance goes down. There's no need to tell you that something is available for 10 rupees. If it's available tomorrow at 8 rupees, everybody will be happy. There's no need to dwell on that. So it adds to the overall robust economy measures. Then you come to simplified procedures. As I said, by automatically, I'll just give you one example. About decade, 6 years back, we had a procedure when we used to go to the customs for registration of our import document. There used to be a register kept at every examination center. Clerk will be sitting and making an entry of the bill of entry submitted for registration. This was in spite of EDI being in place 6 years back. You have to register on the system also, but he used to have a manual register also. They had an argument, no, sometimes when we are searching something, it's difficult to search on the system whether these goods have been examined or not. Some DTR number or some number was quoted for that register, what they were maintaining. And we went to the commissioner, what nonsense, when everything is available online, why do you want a register again? Because if the officer, that gentleman does not come at 11 at the time of examination, he turns up at 1. Till 1, nothing can be done. No examination, you just idle out. After 1, they'll decide whether to replace if he's not going to come at all. So you can imagine what is to be the delay involved. Okay, once you make an entry, 50 ka note de do. So another cost added. And because he's maintaining a register, at the end of the day, again he'll make a statement, send it to some other department. Another gentleman sitting there will collate all that information. So you're just keeping on adding layers and layers. What is the advantage? Nobody knows. Why do you keep it? Nobody knows. For years we have been keeping it. So when you shift over to an electronic system, automatically such kind of wastage is moved out of the system. Moment we brought it to the commissioner's notice, in 2 or 3 months' time it was removed. A lot of such procedures have gone out of the customs arena now because they are not required, they are redundant. But if you continued with the manual, it was a very logical thing. By what has been examined, if somebody has to keep a record, whether this particular cargo lying there is been examined, not examined, so record has to be there. Supposingly it's not examined and somebody tries to take delivery on bogus papers, how will you verify whether these papers are genuine or bogus? This register would have helped in that position. But today it's electronically available. You want to verify whether out of charge has been done or not, it's there on the system. Single point data entry. Any takers why this is such an important thing? Nobody. What? Travel cost. Okay. Exactly. The advantage is that the same data is used for various other activities. What I am giving to IceGate, the information, bill of entry information, for example. Let's say I have got, it's a document for FSI. Same information I can transfer to the FSI. Same information customs can transfer to these other stakeholders, like CFS, he will give the same. I need not give any information to CFS. He gets a link from the IceGate website, he can see it. So that single string can be used multiple times without again and again the same entry being done, which was happening in the past. If somebody has cleared at Bombay Port Trust, they know. You do a manual bill of entry, a shipping bill at customs, you come to Port Trust, again he'll enter the full data. So 3 more people employed in just entering data, a huge activity. You wait in queue, it takes half an hour for data entry, 1 hour for data entry, and you do nothing. But today electronically the data is being given to them. So when I go to the Port Trust to pay my charges, it's within seconds I can get the invoice. Invariably, the EDI automatically enables a lot of things. And the last is MIS. MIS is the report system. It is a reporting system. So any other agency wants to see what is happening, it's available. Even for us, you want to see what shipments have taken place for the last 3 days, or what import bills of entries you have submitted for the last 3 days. That information is available on the internet. Okay. Can anybody file a document at IceGate? Since IceGate is a gateway, it has tried to authorize people who can use the gateway. So whether it's an importer, exporter, customs broker, shipping line, these trade partners have to be registered if they want to send a message to IceGate. Only if you want to send a message to IceGate, you need to be registered. For view, there is no registration required. Like if you want to go and view information on, let's say, IGM, they don't ask you any, you should be having the bill of lading number, master bill of lading number, and you put in the master bill of lading number, that information is available. So when you want to exchange a message with IceGate, then registration